So, I've just recorded a video comparing two low-profile graphics cards, the R5 240 and the HD 7570, but now I have a new card, and that is this, a GT 1030 from NVIDIA. Here are the specs, or at least the model number. I do believe this is a DDR5 model, which is the better one. There is a DDR4 model, which is way slower. But the first problem is, it didn't come with a small form factor bracket. So I'm thinking, yeah, that could work.
But before we get into how I modified this GT 1030 to fit, let's see if it works at all.
Bit of changes here. First off, I put in a desktop PC instead of the Optiplex, and I have here put back on the back plate so that I can at least test it and see if it works before I go unscrewing it. Ah, I see I have XFCE installed. That's interesting. Anyway, now when we do an NVIDIA SMI, okay, let's make that bigger. Okay, so now we have two GPUs, the P106 and the GT 1030. Both of them. Yay. Okay, so we can see it running on the P106. Let's now try the GT 1030. Disable discrete GPU. As you can see here, we're running the GT 1030, the GP 107 I do believe it is. Now we're getting over 400, 500 FPS. 600. The GT 1030 is a beast, like it is, from preliminary benchmarks, it is faster than an R5 240 or an HD 7570. So, yay. Take out the graphics card.
Now it's a matter of installing the GT 1030 into the Optiplex. First, I tried taking off the backplate and seeing if it fits at all.
Okay, so it doesn't want to fit due to my micro SATA drive here. So I'm going to have to kind of just, yeah. For now. Oh no, we have a clearance problem. That's not very good. You can see here that the edge of the card is actually interfacing with the 24 pin. Jeez, I was really not expecting this much of a hassle. We are definitely going to have to reconsider the cooling on this graphics card.
Here, I have an HD 5570 that will act as our donor card.
The owner before me said that it artifacts, and I tested it and it doesn't work at all. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that this is not working. However, one thing you will notice is the screw holes. These screw holes are very much compatible with the older and newer cards. However, the NVIDIA card, that's not compatible. So we're going to have to do some Soviet engineering, as we say here.
While we watch the HD 5570's disassembly, I'm going to talk a bit more about the GT 1030 that we're going to be modding today. It's an older Pascal-based graphics card from 2017, and it's just now reaching end of life. The GT 1030 is really not much. It's quite a weak card. However, its biggest strength is really its small size. Only having 30 watts as a TDP really lets you put it in a lot of places. And I hope that this modded cooler will work well. Now, the idea I have in mind is to imprint the screw hole layout into a sheet of paper. Then, drill screw holes into the donor heatsink. And I hope it gets cooled by this new cooler. I mean, it's a 1030, it only produces 30 watts of heat, but bad thermal contact can always ruin your day.
So let's try that paper trick. The only paper I had laying around was plans for a V2 rocket I, for some reason, printed out. I'm sure there's a reason. However, now it's going to be reused in good purposes instead of, you know, Hitler's evil plan and stuff. Huh. I need some scissors. I have a knife. I don't know what the guidelines are on YouTube, but knife sharp. Knife cause bleed. Be careful with knife. I think I'm gonna do yeah, that'll do it. If you are a child watching and don't know how to use a knife, then please do not use a knife.
After thinking about it for a while, I came to the decision that I'm not a very skilled metal worker, and it was too late to bring out the drill. So I came up with a much more simple solution.
Got it. Jeez. You can even see the core here. That's actually an interesting test. Yeah, we can see that. And if I press down, there's no difference. Perfect. So this should be a really nice little low-profile single slot card. Oh, wait. How are we going to power this fan? Jeez. I'm kind of thinking that is a fan connector, but I think powering it directly from 12 volts will be the best idea. So what I'm going to do now is transfer over the low profile bracket. It should work. I hope the HDMI will somehow just fit. Wow, that lines up almost perfectly, except for the screw not really being able to be screwed in, but oh well. So now, the moment of the truth. Yeah, it's a bit too fat to fit in, jeez. I'm expecting, oh, that kind of just slid in. Jeez. Okay, yeah, that's not wanting to budge. Oh, it just did. It just budged. Okay, low profile, and is it?
At this point, I was way too tired to try to MacGyver a power solution for the fan, so I decided to just run it without it.
So, we booted. We didn't kill the thing. That's always a good sign. And now let's check NVIDIA SMI, or I guess we can do the graphics tool. Mission Center. 50 degrees. Well, that's not great, now is it? However, let's try to run a game. So you can see here that 56 degrees on this card, even with this being passively cooled, not even the fan being turned on, and it's fine. Like, wow, I'm actually impressed. Although that still keeps creeping up, doesn't it? You know, I think it's just fine.
The next day, I went to work making an adapter for the fan, so that we have even more cooling.
There. Should be done now. There. Perfect. Next off, the adapters. Okay, I'm gonna try out this before I go any further. Okay, so we're seeing a possibly slight decrease in temperatures. I'll put a load on it and see what temperatures we get. Yeah, this is definitely thermal throttling, as you can see. At 80 degrees, I read that the temperature is maximum for this card. It's now reaching 82 degrees under Furmark. Yeah, our cooling solution is simply not suitable for this card.
I was devastated after this. I spent so much time trying to make a single slot cooler, and yet it just didn't perform. This led me to experiment with different types of modifications to my idea, hot glue, different fans, you name it. But at the end, there was a much more simpler solution I just didn't think about in the first place.
Okay guys, so I just like literally rocked it out and got it, right? And have a look at this. It fits in, and the 24 pin doesn't matter. Wow. Just fits right in, and Bob's your uncle. So the first thing I notice is quite low idle temperatures, but that's logical because the heatsink has a lot of thermal capacity. Only after a long gaming session, like say in Mafia 2, we can actually find out what the temperatures will be like. Yeah, it looks like this cooler is very good. 74 degrees. I've been playing for a while. I think I'm gonna keep it like this. Doesn't really need an active fan, thankfully. Running at full speed, I think that's full speed. That's not full speed. Oh well, but it just works, man. It works. And for those random nitpicky people wondering, yes, I fixed that by doing a Flatpak update. Now it's okay. So I hope you liked this video about my trials and tribulations of trying to get this GT 1030 in my Dell Optiplex. The performance benchmarks of these three graphics cards will be in the next video.